Hello everybody, Rick Sandhu here in Kamloops, BC, Canada, and I'm coming at you with another video. This one's a short video on how to clean your Darton Tritech strings. These strings are white and they really show the dirt, and here in Kamloops we're in a semi-arid, semi-desert climate, and it is very dusty, especially down at our bow range right now where there's lots of construction happening on the roads. So even in 1 or 2 range trips, I find that my Tritech string, which is white, really shows all the dirt, and I actually kind of like that about it because then I can see that it's time to clean the string. You know, if it was a black string, then I'm sure the dirt would be piling up on here and I wouldn't even notice. So I'm going to give you a close-up of this string right now, and you'll see that it's got quite a lot of dirt on it, and then I will show you the process of cleaning it and stripping off all of the old wax, and then I will apply fresh wax on top of a clean string. If you put fresh wax on top of dirty wax, all you're going to be doing is rubbing in all that dirt into your string. And I'm finding that that causes your strings to wear down a lot faster. It's like having sandpaper being rubbed on your strings. So by seeing what we do here, seeing how we strip off the old wax and then apply new wax. Now, I don't do this every single time. I clean my strings once every couple of weeks. I do apply wax when I feel the need out at the range or just before going out for a shooting session. But I do like to strip the wax off once a week, once every 2 weeks. And I think it all comes down to how much you shoot. I shoot a ton, so therefore I need to be on top of my string maintenance a lot more than maybe other people who grab their bow once in a while. So let's get you a close-up here and show you what the condition of this string is right now. So as you have a look here, you will see there's lots of dingy, dirty, gummy wax there. And you can also see a little bit of fray happening. I'd like to put some more wax on after stripping this off, but I'm not going to apply wax until this string's clean. You see, down at the bottom end of the bow, I find is closer to the ground, and I find it gets a lot dirtier, a lot quicker. So you can see that these strings are no longer their natural color. They're pretty dirty. Let's get into cleaning these up. All right, so what we're gonna do is use a piece of dental floss here. Dental floss is pre-waxed and it's very smooth material. It's not coarse or abrasive like bow string serving would be. Bow string serving works really well for this. It strips old wax fantastically, but it also abrades your string, so I don't like to use it. So we're gonna use some dental floss here, wrap it around the string once, wrap it around your fingers, and then we're just going to pull fingers apart to put some tension into the string, and we're going to strip this wax. And I'm gonna let this, it occasionally breaks when you do it. Depends on the quality of the floss. But I'm going to allow it to slide as well. You can see it stripping off gummy old wax. And you can see it showing up here all over the dental floss. So we're just going to keep flossing the string and see how clean we can get this. But even in that first section here, you should see that it's already significantly cleaner. Now, this floss isn't very good. Maybe it's just me, I'm pulling too hard. All right, a few more passes and we will show you the comparison between the clean section and the original sections. There we go. And I just keep tossing the floss out and grabbing a new section because there is no point in rubbing that dirty wax back in just because you're trying to save a couple cents worth of floss. All right, I don't really see any more wax coming off. So we have stripped the wax. Let's take a look and compare this to the rest of the string. So there's the cleaned string. And there is the dirty string. All right. You can see those globs of dirt. So I'm going to finish stripping the wax off of this string back to the clean one. You can see that difference. It's a lot brighter. And then I'm going to show you how I wax. Well, if you think your hands are clean, I guarantee if you go wash them with some soap, you're going to find that there's lots of dirt that comes off of them. And I'm pretty surprised after just washing up how much dirt came off of these hands. They looked pretty clean in the video, but it just goes to show, make sure you take that step, because what's the point of stripping off all this protective wax and then getting your string dirty right at the base layers? So I've done that, and now you have to choose your wax. We've got natural boning Textite here, and we've got a silicone-based boning Seal-Tite. You know, I've experimented with both, and I'm finding out of all of the Darton bows that I've shot over the last couple years, this string is lasting the longest out of any that I've had. It's a combination of properly cleaning it, but I think it's from being generous and being regular with the Textite. The natural bowstring wax, I find it doesn't last as long. It needs to be applied more regularly. But for some reason, I feel like it's conditioning the string and reducing fraying a lot more than I'm used to. And so we're gonna stick with the natural-based wax, boning Textite. And I'm gonna be generous when I apply it, but I am gonna remove any additional surplus wax afterwards. So we'll apply some to both sides. And you know what, if you're gonna do your cables, I find I don't need to do my cables as often because the string is whipping through the air much faster than the cables are. The cables are just moving sort of along the length of the bow, but that string is whipping through a whole volume of air, and it gets dirty so much faster. It also seems to fray a lot faster because it dries out quicker because it's, again, moving through the air so fast. Your wax seems to leave the string quicker, and so I would say I maybe wax the string 2-3 times before I have to do the cables, or maybe even longer actually, maybe even 3-4 times before I have to do the cables. Anytime I touch these cables, they feel great to me. One thing that you need to know is always on a Darton Tritech factory string, or even a Sequel or Sequel ST2 factory string, make sure that you do your white string first, your natural colored string first, because I find that some of the color on the black cables actually comes off with the wax. So if you do your dark cables first and then start doing your light strings, you're gonna see that you're rubbing color into the string. So always do the light colors first on your bowstring and then do your dark colors second, and then don't go back. All right, so I've applied a generous amount of wax, and all I'm gonna do right now is just work it gently. I'm not putting any pressure yet. I'm just moving it back and forth to make sure it coats the string and evenly distributes it all the way around. And then I'm going to apply pressure and a little bit more speed because I want to melt the wax. It's important that you melt the wax because you want that wax to soak into the fibers, and you want to actually get that wax to soak in between fibers. It's the movement of fibers on fibers that is what degrades your strings. And so, of course, movement through the air and, of course, dirt as well. But that friction against itself is a big part of the wear. So we want to, once we've sort of coated the string, now it's time for us to rub it in. So we'll squeeze and apply a little bit of pressure. And you'll feel a little bit of heat. I'm actually squeezing and only really squeezing in one direction. So I'm not squeezing going back and forth. I'm squeezing and then relaxing and squeezing. I'm sort of trying to go one direction so that I'm not pulling fibers out of the string. I heard another YouTuber describe that as petting a cat. It's a good analogy. You only want to pet a cat one way, otherwise the hair stands up. So this is what I'm doing, and I'm starting to feel a little bit of heat. And go on. So again, squeezing only in that one direction. I'm going in an upward motion here. And it's not pulling fibers out and ruffling the string's feathers, so to speak. It's generating heat, and not all of the wax is soaking and pushing in. So we'll carry on, and we'll come back and we'll take off the excess. So again, squeezing hard on the upstroke. Generating some heat. And I can tell you this string looks so much better than it did when we started. Okay, now that I've completed that, I'm going to grab a cloth and I am just going to clean the serving, because some of the wax does slip onto the servings and we don't want wax on the servings. Okay, and then I'm just going to one light wipe and take off any excess wax. You can see it building up in certain spots. You just clean that off the peep. Okay, and then I will just go back in and polish that up one last time. All right, let's give you a close-up look to see what kind of progress we've made. Well, there's your final results. Just take a look at how clean and how nice this string looks. Cleaned the entire string and waxed it. There's no fraying. They're clean. It looks like a new string. It looks almost identical to how it looked on the first day. So that there is just a fantastic way of making sure that your Darton Tritech strings last a long time and look fantastic. Well, that's it for me on how to take care of your Darton strings and cables, how to strip off the old wax, and how to apply fresh new wax. And you know what, there's lots of different videos showing you how to do this and lots of different techniques and a lot of different opinions. But I think after having about 1,000 shots on this string, you can see that the results speak for themselves. This string is in absolutely fantastic condition. And so if you are looking for a new set of strings and cables, you could always look at Hardcore Archery in Kelowna, British Columbia. They make strings and cables in-house. They're all custom, whatever you need. So you can look them up and contact them. And as well, coming up soon, you're going to see me do a custom string installation on my Tritech 35. I've got a set of Pinnet archery strings that are coming in from Chilliwack, British Columbia. They're handmade right here in Canada, in British Columbia. And so Jeff at Pinnet Strings is going to be sending me a set to put on here. And I'd like to invite you to come and see that video for anyone who wants to know how to string up their Darton Tritech. So anyways, that's it for this video. And hopefully we'll see you out there.